Hello, lovely. I am here answering a question today, one that I think is a very bold question, and it's also very bold for me to answer it. So we'll see how this video goes, but I want to be transparent. I'm very transparent on my phone calls and sometimes in readings. If someone says it, I'll be real about it. But given that, especially lately, that I've really just been doing a lot of channeling, like love letters, so you're not really hearing from me. There are people who may not know how I feel. Maybe you missed that reading where I mentioned it one time randomly. Maybe you've never talked to me on the phone and you never asked me this question. But I do get this question oftentimes from people who are new to the twin flame journey or new to my ministry, and they can kind of tell, hey, you know what, this lady, I think she keeps it real. Let me ask her this. The question is, do I believe that twin flames are real? Now, this is a rough question for me because I am a weird person, and the way that I think about things is so hard for other people to understand and hard for me to explain that it almost feels like a trap to answer this. Because if I say yes, then it's like you're whatever you think about twin flames, you're probably going to think that's what I think. If I say no, like I wouldn't say no because I don't, I can't, it's not no, but it's probably not safe for me to say yes unless I could ask you a question, right? Like, well, what do you mean? What do you believe about twin flames? Do I believe about what you believe? Right. Okay, you get that, right? So I'm going to do my best to share as directly as possible what I think. First and foremost, do I think that twin flames as a concept is a real thing? It's hard to answer only because I it's a concept, right? And so, do I believe that it could be real? Yes. And that's how my brain works. It's like, as a theory, theoretically, I think soulmates are real. I also think twin flames are real. But do I think that what twin flames has become or the popular rhetoric surrounding it is 100% accurate? No, which means that overall as a concept I am wary of being like, yes, I believe in twin flames. But I do. Obviously I believe in it enough that I've committed my life to this work for all these years and helping people who also believe in twin flames make their life better and not fall into like the struggle love or toxic trap, right? So straight off the bat, I want to be real about why I keep saying but or it's hard to answer, and I'm not going to go into any further detail about it because I know that what I'm about to say makes people go "Ah, ah, ah, ah," and I'm like, I'm not trying to preach at you. So, but I'm Christian and it's not in the Bible. That, just simple. If I'm looking at like dogma or um doctrine, it's like, no, it's not in there. But I think that there's some stuff that speaks to the nature of twin flames. And to that, I say, as a concept, if you're asking me if I think it's real in that way, no, I don't. Like, I don't think that what we think of twin flames as is real. Now, I think that my understanding of twin flames is real. I mean, that makes sense, right? Like if you're not a Christian or if you don't believe in God, then you don't believe in God. But if you did, then you would choose the way that you're going to believe that. Many people who return to their faith, that's usually what they end up doing. They deconstruct it, and then if they reconstruct it, they construct it into the thing that feels right, seems right, whatever. So I think that when it comes to twin flames, overall, as a concept, no nuance, no nothing, that the answer is no. I do not believe in the twin flames, like the tarot novella, the it's exactly this. I don't believe in the runner chaser as important as everyone makes it out to be. I don't believe in the age gap thing being like as big of a deal as everyone makes it. But have I worked with age gap twin flames? Yeah, I know it's a thing. But age gaps exist in real life too. And based on my data and research, which is why I have the beliefs that I have, working with thousands of twin flames for the last 7 years and also full on doing surveys. Some of you know I have a longitudinal study or survey that I've done of the twin flame collective, like a small sample, obviously, but still. And all the numbers are always the same. And so for me, it is very hard to look at the general knowledge of what's out there about twin flames, like the basic repeated stuff, which again would be what? DMDF, runner chaser, separation reunion. And then there's like lifetimes, soul ties. Like there's all these things that, oh, karmic, big one, right? There's all these specific things that are then turned into what I call the tarot novella, the dramatization of a concept. That's why I can't believe in it. Because what the majority believes about twin flames as a concept is not what I believe. Now, what I do believe in is sacred partnership and mission work. And I believed in that before I ever found twin flames. And I think that it could be said that many of the people who believe like I believe, like what I believe, had similar backgrounds, but not always. And that's what's interesting to me is what if I meet someone who's everything opposite to me and we have a dialogue, and what I share with them after years of watching other people going down rabbit holes, even though it probably seems to appear to come from my personal background, changes their life and their journey forever. What does that mean? How is that possible? Why would someone who believes everything opposite of what I believe, and I've seen this so many times, people come into a call, they think I'm going to try to religious them, or what does that mean? I don't know. But they think I'm going to try to twin flame them, like tell them twin flames aren't real, or people expect, I don't know why they order calls when they're in this place, but they expect me to do certain things. And then when I don't, and they realize we can have this dialogue, and then I share something with them, and then they sit with it and they integrate it and they realize that's real. What I've realized is maybe it aligns with me because I was going to be put into this position and I was meant to show the truth. And so it was built into my life. I believe that naturally about mission work. I believe that every single thing your divine masculine is struggling with right now, they're going to overcome and then teach others to overcome specifically that stuff when they are in their divine mission. I believe that. And I believe that even before twin flames. And so I had this weird feeling in the early parts that I was projecting my beliefs, because people would be very, like, when people hear that I don't believe in reincarnation or past lives for twin flames and I believe in reunion this lifetime, I've been told that I can't even be a twin flame if I don't believe in reincarnation. But when I asked the person who said that, well, what do you know about reincarnation? They didn't actually know anything about it. They didn't know where it came from. They just had heard from a reader that, reincarnation is a core tenet of being a twin flame. And they were like, that's it. And so I have found that a lot of people don't have the information center. I mean, I created a blog, I created a book, I have all these readings, but I mean, I can't guarantee they're going to find it because it goes against what all the other people say about twin flames. And so I think it's really hard for me to be seen as a regular twin or identified with, within the twin flame collective by people who have that shallow level of understanding. I'm not saying if you believe in reincarnation that you're shallow. I'm saying if you don't know where that comes from, if you don't know how a lot of twin flame stuff actually comes from Hinduism, but none of it actually is connected to the full, how do I say this? It's like they've picked and they've chosen stuff, but it all contradicts, and it basically just turns into like, oh, well, twin flames don't get together and they're just catalysts and they awaken each other and it's always toxic. And it's like, yeah, but not every twin flame had toxicity. Some just had a separation, but it wasn't toxic. They just like had a normal breakup or something. So explain it. And so in all these years, I started with a curiosity about twin flames 7 years ago when someone said to me in real life, not just on like YouTube or something, but like in real life, a person who is not spiritual said to me, "Man, you and Mr. Lightwork are twins." And I was like, I just saw this thing on YouTube about twin flames that, by the way, I'd skipped and passed because I was like, what is this? The only reason I remembered it is because this lady had owls. And I was like, look at little owls. That's why I remembered her, or the thing being recommended to me. And I told him, you know what? It's funny you say that. I just saw this thing about twin flames and I looked into it. And since that time, I went in with real curiosity. I didn't want to prove that my religious reasons or my personal background or my beliefs or my opinions, I didn't want to prove any of that. I didn't know what this was. I wanted to research it. I've done the research and I have found what I believe to be the truth. And I have found that when that truth is shared, every single person, even if it takes a couple, sometimes, rarely though, but sometimes it takes people a couple weeks, months, or years, they come back and they're like, I believe what you believe now. But most people, the first time they hear it, it's like, oh, and there is freedom in it. There is freedom in knowing that you can't mess this up. There is freedom in knowing that, yeah, maybe you might need to do some work or they're doing some work, but sometimes there's a whole divine timeline at play. There is a relief in knowing that, logically speaking, you don't have a contract with yourself. If you're two halves of one soul, you don't need a contract with yourself. Your contract is actually with divine. There's so much information that I've learned in studying twin flames and seeing these like repetitive these patterns in people's charts, um, in people's stories across the world. People have sent me screenshots of things or a person has said from a reading, and it's like 5 or 6 people might have sent it in the same reading. How is that possible? It's someone in the Netherlands, someone in Malaysia, someone in Singapore, someone in California, someone in Canada, someone in the Caribbean has now just sent me screenshots of me saying something verbatim, or Mr. Lightwork saying something verbatim from a message or a reading. And it's all of them? And they don't know each other? And they see what I'm saying? I'm not going to keep going, but you get my gist, right? I think it's very, very important that we reflect on the question, are twin flames real? And realize there are layers to it. What do I believe about twin flames is a better question. And I believe that a lot of people have been sold a lie. And that what most people in the mainstream know about twin flames makes it appear a certain way. And that's what people are asking me when they ask me about the concept. They're saying, do you believe in that? No, I do not. And you shouldn't either. I believe that if you are a divine feminine twin flame, that means you have a divine masculine twin flame, and that you will be together this lifetime in order to collaborate. Because, by the way, two heads are better than one for your specific mission. And it's not because you're super special, not to say you're not, but it's because this particular mission, this work you came to do, it needed more than one person at a time working on it. That's why you agreed to be separated into your feminine and masculine halves. If, as you're still whole, but those parts of you are put in it at a slight imbalance in order to help the two heads not just be the same person. It's like, I'm not going to actually make you physical twins because that's not helpful. You need to be in different lives, different experiences, because there's different things that you're going to learn along the way, so that when you come together, you can complete your individual mission, shared mission. If you don't believe that about twin flames, that's okay. But you should figure out what you do believe. You know what I mean? Make sure you can really get clear, be able to articulate to someone like me, not to prove your point, but let's say we sat down and had a conversation one day. I could say what I just said to you. I believe this, this, and this. And then I could say, hey, what do you believe? And you could say, okay, I believe this, this, and this. And I go, okay, cool. Because guess what? I just think I'm right. I think that I know that I'm right. But I am the type of person that can look at something like this and say, I don't know if I'm right. And that's okay. And I want you to be able to say that too. I often share with divine feminines, as long as your future self isn't ashamed, just completely full of regret for how you handled things, 5 years behind, if 5 years from now you look back at this moment and we're like, oh my God, that's a problem. But 5 years from now, if you look back and you go, that was an incredible learning phase for me. And I'm actually really proud of how I handled it. I did a good job. That's what matters. As long as you can look at this and see that, as long as your life has not completely stalled out, I don't know. I think that it's okay to work through this concept. But if that is just watching readings, see right there, you think, I just don't want you to watch readings. That's not it. What I'm saying is, if you're watching, especially not like the readings that I would do where there's some coaching and there's parables and you know what I mean? But it's like if you're literally just watching someone speculate and everything you hear goes against everything except they're all having it's black magic, spell work, karmic, everything's evil. If that's the only common denominator, I just have a feeling that you're being duped. And I feel bad for you, not because I pity you, but because your soul craves something greater. Not just anything, something specific. And what you've been distracted by is taking you in the exact opposite wrong path. And I feel so bad because underneath the questions you think you have, you're asking, what's wrong with me? And that's the answer. When you got activated as the first awakened, you were meant to be drawn into your mission work and you've been ignoring it. And when I say light work and you click off, your soul's desperate. That's the real desperation. That's the real obsession. Your soul is obsessed with getting you to see the truth. And you feel that inside you and it comes through as this manic energy and you think it's one thing, but it's really another. That's why I feel bad. And I want better for you, for everyone that I come into contact with. Even outside of Twin Flames, I want everyone to be their best because I know that's how we feel our best. It's just a fact of life. But to be your best as a twin flame means to fully embrace who you are as a divine feminine. And the number of divine feminines I've heard over the years say, I'm not doing it without my person. I'm not doing it until I'm in union. I'm not doing it until divine tells me. I don't have to be in union yet, but I'm not doing it until divine tells me exactly when, how long. I'm not doing it because I don't feel like it. I'm not doing it because I don't identify with helping others. I'm not doing it because I know it's coming from pain. I know it's coming from rejection and not even just with twin flame, right? But just in life. I know it's coming from trauma. I know it. I know it. I'm not even judging. I just feel bad because I know the answer. And knowing the answer and watching people who are desperate for truth run away from you, I'll never forget this feeling. And I really can't wait until I can serve sacred partners because that I believe in. I believe that twin flames are a part of another collective of sacred partners. We're a part of a collective of light workers, soulmates. We're a part of these other huge groups that have already rejected us because of our confusion within ourselves and our journeys. And I want better. So do I believe in twin flames? Yes and no. Should that matter to you? Only if I'm a bad person trying to scam you. But to be able to walk into a room and say, hey, what do you believe? Okay, here's what I believe. Let's have a chat. Maybe I can glean something from you. Maybe you can glean something from me, even if we never change our minds. If you can't do that, I think it's going to be hard to exist because your soul is desperate to shine, to light up the world. And you're going to just keep dimming it. I want more for you. You want more for you. It doesn't have to be my way. But I think that's really what Twin Flames is all about. We see it so easily in our person and what they need to change, what they need to get together, and what they need to do. Because why? Because we know that's what's going to lead to union. But we forget or miss or misunderstand that we've got work to do too. And we're not delaying union when we don't. but we are making our soul unnecessarily tired. Good luck. I love you. Peace.